Hey Bench, we back with another reaction video. Today we got Mr. Nightmare, 3 Disturbing True Retail Stories. Now you probably remember from yesterday we did the first one. Now we're gonna just jump into it and get the last 2 stories in it. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Hey Bench, you know what to do. Let's roll.
I used to work the dairy aisle in a grocery store. It was the worst job I ever had.
I bet.
A lot of heavy lifting, expired dairy products, and shivering.
Stink.
The big dairy cooler was in the back of the store, the area where all the groceries yet to be stocked on the shelves were kept. I would often just chill in the dairy cooler, no pun intended, because the supervisors on duty would never think to check on me in there. I'd bring a hoodie just so I wouldn't get cold. Anyway, one night I was working till 10 p.m. The store got quiet past 9. However, Mr. Senko, the supervisor who was a pain in the ass, was on duty. So after stocking the milk cartons one more time for the night, I brought everything to the back area again. On my way back to the dairy cooler to just hide and chill in there, I saw very briefly, for like half a second, the face of someone through the glass of the cooler door. But they either just ducked down or faded away out of my view. Who was in there? I went through the doors to see. I got hit with that blast of cold air and the loud sound of the giant refrigerator blowing cold air into the room. Boxes, pallets, and crates of milk everywhere, but no immediate sight of anyone. There were many places to hide behind the giant piles of boxes, but no one was in there. So I did my usual. I sat in an empty milk crate hidden behind a big pile of boxes. Then suddenly the lights in the cooler turned off. It went almost pitch dark. Besides the light from outside the cooler coming in through the glass of the door. I had a mini freak out because I thought Mr. Senko knew I was in here and was basically signaling for me to come out. I stood up and came out from around the boxes, and then I froze. Something was blocking partial view of the 2 cooler doors. There was a silhouette of a really tall person right in front of me. It couldn't be Mr. Senko. He was kind of short. The figure right in front of me had to be a foot taller than me. Suddenly, the light flickered back on, and the figure I thought I saw right in front of me was no longer there.
Hell no.
I nervously walked around where I thought I saw something standing. I even waved my hand through the air in that spot. I somehow felt like I wasn't alone in there, and so I burst through the doors and shut the dairy cooler light. I peeked inside now with the light off, but that figure I saw in there just a moment ago was still gone. I threw my apron off and clocked out early. I didn't care if Mr. Senko would be mad. I just needed to get out of there. That was the one paranormal thing to ever happen in my life. I do overnight stock shifts for various local Lowe's home improvement stores. All I do is work whichever specific location needs me for the night, usually dependent on which location is having the most business. My job is to unload trucks, operate forklifts in the back section and throughout the store, and do night stock work. The trucker on duty that night was Paul, the only other guy with me that night. Once we successfully unloaded the truck, he helped me sort them in the back room before going off to do another pickup with the truck. So I was left alone to continue work as normal, nothing I wasn't used to. I'd scan the new shipments to take inventory, then I'd bring the items out to the floor and stock shelves with the new items. That's exactly what I was doing. Going back and forth from the back warehouse section to the main floor, stocking shelves, sometimes using the forklift. I was scanning items with the inventory gun towards the back section of the warehouse when a loud crash scared the living shit out of me. To the point that I jumped and turned around in midair. It was a big box that had fallen off a large pile of pallets full of unopened packages. The box's contents didn't spill out. The box was still intact. So I went to get the forklift to lift the packages back up onto the pallet. It was at this point I smelled a funky odor, but it wasn't the most uncommon thing ever in a warehouse, so I continued my work. At some point later that night, I turned the corner into the paint aisle and saw someone walking all the way down at the other side. They were dressed in dark clothes. No one else was supposed to be in the store, and they weren't wearing work clothes, so I shouted, "Hey." They turned around, and when they saw me, they took off running down an intersecting aisle. I yelled again and started chasing after him. Of course, when I got to the intersecting aisle, he was nowhere to be seen. He could have been in any aisle by then. Still, I did one quick jog down the middle aisle to look through all the intersecting aisles, but I didn't see anyone. I called anyone who I thought could have possibly been on duty, but nobody even picked up. I was at a loss for who that could be. I had to assume it was an intruder. I returned to the warehouse, and as I walked through the doors, I heard another crash from the back section of the warehouse. I ran in that direction and discovered something had fallen from the same pile of pallets and boxes.
That was it.
I had to run and grab a ladder to go climb up the stack of boxes. When I got to the top, I realized there was a perimeter, or wall rather, of packages and boxes surrounding one big hole. In this hole, there was a homeless-looking man dressed in all black, the same man I had just seen. This was where the odor from earlier was coming from. He looked at me, and I looked back at him, speechless. I didn't know what to say. He got up and seemed as though he were coming to lunge at me. I quickly stepped down the ladder low enough to where I could jump off, and I ran down the aisle of the warehouse and stopped. I got on the phone with the police, and a couple officers showed up 15 minutes later. Of course, the little secret home that man had made between boxes was empty now. He evacuated with all this stuff. Camera footage later revealed that man had been staying in that little secret spot he created for a whole week. No one really checks the camera footage unless there's a reason to. That's how he got away with it unnoticed for so long.
A whole week. Get his ass out of there. Bro, what y'all do in that situation? Now, in the second story, that dude get that he want to go chill in the dairy section, chill in the cooler. I bet your ass will work now. But let me know what y'all think. Y'all thought the video down in the comment section down below. What would y'all do in that situation? Let me know in the comment section too as well. Shout out Nina Turner. You always the first one in the comment section and the first one to watch the video. Shout out to you. This is probably gonna be the only video today. I'll probably give y'all 2 or 3 tomorrow. So without further ado, AB Screw, you know what to do. We are out of here. Peace.
Yeah. Lil Dilly from the bottom of the map. I ain't gotta have a strap. I still get 'em with the rap. Hating Dilly, man, you gotta be an idiot.